It's been 14 years.
I get calls and emails and, you know, any type of DMs from Texas, Florida, Colorado, California. I mean, really all over the Virginia, Georgia, all over the country. And the one thing that I can say is, at least in that category, we are ahead
Oh
for sure. We're
yeah.
ahead.
I mean,
And you're part of that?
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
just
you're
what
right
we
there.
did, at Milwaukee County Child Support and having the fatherhood grants for 14 years, and we just received another 5-year grant around the work that we do here. It's and it's we've had some interesting summits.
Oh,
Everything from the locations that we were at.
truly.
There's a dude. What it used to be, if you got there, because literally, if we open the doors at 7:30, people are there at 7, right? Because they want to get there. And there's this one brother,
This year
man.
too.
Huh? This
This
year
year
too.
too.
Yeah, this one brother, man. This dude. Oh man, he just be talking, Clark. This dude just be talking. So he get there because you get a ticket when you get there, right? So first group get the ticket. They're the first group to get to go see child support. And man, this dude come in. Then he leave the room before he got the ticket. Then he come back. So one time we're at Greater New Birth, and this dude is just talking, and I'm handing out the tickets, and I'm reaching, literally reaching around him, giving out tickets. And he's still talking. And so I go, "You still talking? Because you ain't got a ticket yet." Then come to find out he was related to our old station manager. I'm gonna tell your boss, like, dude, really? Yeah, man. So just the different. Where were we last year?
Last year it was at uh, the school, Milwaukee Academy of
That's
Science.
right. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
We've been at
Another good
MATC.
one. We've been at MATC. Last 3 years, we've had over 500 people,
Yeah, yeah,
register. So
yeah.
it's been beautiful. Helped a lot of folks, a lot of families. I know that people have gotten jobs from it. Obviously, people have had their child support cases addressed directly. Driver's license recovery, they'll be there again.
Yeah.
A couple of things I did want to share with the public, and we'll probably talk about it more than once. We are at the Destiny Youth Plaza this year, which is 7220 North 76th Street, near the corner of North 76th Street and West Good Hope.
Destiny High School.
That's right. That's right. So we want to see you there. We do want to see you there. It's not too late to register. All you have to do is just go to milwaukee.gov/fatherhood. That's milwaukee.gov/fatherhood. Hit that registration part. Now, here's what's new. This year, because of those floods in August, we want more people. So this is men, this is women, this is teens. We want more people to get this thing addressed. The number I heard was 7,000 people still haven't taken care of that. Well, we want to see many of you get on over to the Destiny Youth Plaza that day. FEMA will be there, as well as the Wisconsin Emergency Management Office. They're going to be on site. They're going to be addressing those concerns that you had with the flooding in August. So it is not too late. The deadline for that is November 12th. Fatherhood Summit is November 1st. There is no reason, if you either registered and you didn't get your information, or if you did not register, there's no reason to not be here this time and get your business taken care of. If you were living in a basement, if your basement was damaged, if you lost appliances, whomever was affected, you could own the property, you could be a renter. If you just have evidence that you lived in a place that was affected and you were directly affected, it could be a letter. But the point is, get your claim put in, everybody. Get your claim put in for those disaster services, those relief. The deadline is November 12th. In-person services will be at the Fatherhood Summit. They'll be in the gymnasium. There's at least 8 workers who are going to be there to address your cases. Bilingual services will be there. This is the first time we've done it, but it's highly needed. And again, if your property was damaged, whether you put in a claim, if you did, then they can look it up on the computer and tell you where you are. If you did not, that is the day to go onto the Fatherhood Summit and get it addressed. We also have pardon and expungement services that are going to be available. Lawyers from the Milwaukee Justice Center will be on site. Here's what you need to do. Once again, go to that website, get registered as a participant. That's milwaukee.gov/fatherhood. register as a participant, but then look right underneath that part. It will say MFS Legal Services, Milwaukee Fatherhood Summit Legal Services. If you're there for legal services, that can include expungement, pardon, that can include estate planning, that can include any non-criminal offense that needs to be addressed, please go to that link, the MFS link for legal services, and register for that too. And then you can see your lawyer that day. They are available for all the people who register. So if you're there for legal services, you're registering twice at the same website. If you don't register, then you might get put on a waiting list. And we don't want to see that happen because the lawyers will be there.
I think that is in the way that it happens. I don't know. We think we're still setting it up that way, where all the legal services are kind of in one area.
Yes.
And that would include child support.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And whoever comes, a lot of times they find out, oh, I didn't even know I needed this. Well, it's there. This is a true one-stop shop.
And helping people fill out forms. A lot of times and I don't know how much assistance, I know legally we cannot fill out forms, but let's say a modification is needed. There's somebody there that can help you with the modification forms, help you with the stipulation forms. It's certainly around issues around child support, or if you're dealing with issues with placement in custody, same thing where you need to file court documents. So, yeah.
Right. The point is the help is there. Anybody who's looking for a job, we have the employment consultants will be there. They are going to do around the clock class on soft skills, how to dress for an interview, how to tie a tie. They're going to teach you how to do that. We're asking adults and teens to come in on that, please. Just come in. Resume building skills. You're going to get the opportunity to take a chance to do a video. They will do video interviews, and then they can go over what works and what does not work in an interview, and you get to see what it looks like on the playback. We're also letting people know that we're doing screenings there. That's physical screenings. They're non-invasive. We're doing lead screening. So if you have children, they need that lead screening. We're doing immunizations, vaccinations. If they need that will be there. So your flu shot will be there. COVID shot will be there. So vaccinations for schools, they will be there. But for the screening, specifically for the men, we're going to have a special section at 11 o'clock that day. We're going to have the Medical College of Wisconsin, Froedtert Hospital. We're going to have Health Connections, Inc. And they are not only going to do the presentation on prostate health, prostate cancer, the risk, treatments, options. There's going to be a non-invasive screening option that's going to be done. It does not cost you a thing. So if you do not have insurance, if you have not had that particular health care taken care of, prostate cancer testing will be done. It's a PSA test. It is not the elaborate test that a lot of people hear about. It can be done on site. They just have to give you the counseling around it, and then you take your time. It's only a few minutes. We're encouraging everybody to get there, get healthy, and then get what they need. So I'm looking forward to seeing many of you register now for the Milwaukee Fatherhood Summit, milwaukee.gov/fatherhood. Let's get you in there so you don't have a line to wait in. And we're also doing a class on vaping prevention for teens. It's a high school class. It's going to be on site. We typically have not had this at the Milwaukee Fatherhood Summit. We've had anti-smoking activity and anti-tobacco for adults, but this is very specific for youth. And high school youth, many of them are already registered. I think there's only a few more slots available for them. But if you have questions, 414-286-0222. That's 414-286-0222. You can get your questions answered. And once again, please register today, because if you register today and you need a ride, we've got free transportation. If you register today, we'll know the numbers are right, and we'll be able to order lunch for the proper numbers, because we're ordering lunch for everybody who's there. So get there, just register now.
The time?
The time is from 8 to 2 in the afternoon. As Keith said, if you get there at 7:30, we'll see you. But we'll see you in line. Don't act like we won't be there.
Yeah,
we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be there. But it officially starts at 8 o'clock.
So from 8 to 2,
yes,
there at Destiny Plaza.
That's
20th
correct.
Annual Milwaukee Fatherhood Summit.
The shuttles began at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So the shuttles to get you there, they're free shuttles. You just have to pre-register on the website, milwaukee.gov/fatherhood. The shuttle starts at Milwaukee Area Technical College, Walker Square on the south side, and also in the parking lot at the Culvers on Fond du Lac near Capitol.
20th Annual Mirrors, Milwaukee City.
Milwaukee City.
Yes, the city of Milwaukee. Milwaukee Fatherhood Summit there at Destiny Plaza. The address again is
7220 North 76th Street.
Destiny High School, and then from 8 to 2. You can pre-register by going to
milwaukee.gov/fatherhood.
Okay. Now, do you have some other organizations where if you go to them, they'll send you to that link?
We do have other organizations that
I know with child support, we would send people to that link if they came into.
That's correct. Yes. So it's there. We've got partners. It's the Milwaukee Fatherhood Coalition. That's the group that's doing the planning. So all those partners.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
That's what it's all about.
Man.
Yes, sir. Besides baseball, I used to play
baseball. You play baseball?
I used to. Yeah, I used to play baseball.
That's right. You're St. Louis, right?
I'm from St. Louis, but
I
do that because I might get my car jacked.
When I walk out the door. A Cardinal fan growing up? Were you a Cardinal fan growing up?
Yeah, I was a Cardinal fan. Yeah. How could I not be? How could I not be?
Man, I know.
Had some legends there, man.
Yeah, 82. 82 for us, man. And that was one of the weirdest World Series ever.
The fact that Milwaukee was there.
Yeah, and that and you know what was crazy? You would have thought, even though we lost the World Series, that we won it by the celebration you saw downtown.
Oh, without a doubt.
It was nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they had like 1 million people downtown.
Yeah.
When it
pictures are legendary here. You see those photos, they're legendary.
Yeah.
Of course you want to win it, but just getting there is an accomplishment.
Yeah. And you think about it, Milwaukee had not had a team in the World Series since the Braves back in 58.
Well, and Milwaukee's team wasn't even that. It wasn't that seasoned. I mean,
that was a good team, though.
Yeah,
that was a real good team. They had Raleigh Fingers, a couple of Hall of Famers, 3 Hall of Famers on that team. Raleigh Fingers, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount.
Yeah.
I think Oglesby was on that team.
Oh yeah, they're Hall of Famers.
I don't know if Cecil Cooper was still there. He was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost certain he was because I remember that era. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we ended up getting the catcher, Simmons, from St. Louis. Ted Simmons, right?
Ted Simmons.
Yeah. We ended up getting him. Yeah. But then that St. Louis squad, man, they had Willie McGee, Gary Pendleton,
yes, sir,
Ozzie Smith.
Yes.
Oh my God.
See, you saw them on national commercials.
Oh, the Wizard of Oz. And what was it that Ozzie had? I don't know if because he was a switch hitter, that he had all these at bats and he had never hit a home run. I don't know if it's from the left side.
Yeah.
And he hit a home run. Yep. Oh, but just to watch him play shortstop, man, that man, he did some things out there that you just go like, oh, what's he gonna do? Left. And Gary Pendleton, he had got rolled up on by the carp. Remember?
Yes. Before
the game, he got hurt. But yeah, 82 was. We thought this was going to be 82, but we did get burgers.
Hey, you know what? Milwaukee's coming back, man.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I think I know we got to go, but but baseball is the payroll.
Yeah.
I mean, if you the team,
you've got to put that money in there,
right? Because I forgot the Yankees were in the World Series last year.
They have money.
Yeah, they lost to the Dodgers.
Yeah, they have money.
Yeah, they had money. I mean, Boston, a lot of money. So, and I don't know, Milwaukee's a small market team. And so being able to put together those rosters, and unlike football and basketball, where they have salary caps, there is no salary cap in baseball.
No, I mean, and it starts early. I mean, as you know, now you've got clubs and, people travel around the country with kids. Yeah. So yeah, it's a different world.
We're going to talk about these traveling teams and the cost of these families of being on traveling teams.
Yeah.
Hey, Daryl, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Keith.
I'll see you Friday.
Looking forward to it. We'll see each other Friday and Saturday. And Saturday.
Remember when it was 2 days?
2 days.
Remember when it used to be
How
2
could I
days?
forget?
Yeah,
It started as 2 days.
It started 2 days. And you know what? But your people will tell you how to do what you do.
Mm.
So when people started peeling out, like, why are we here to 4 when everybody started
Oh,
peeling
yeah.
out at 2? You know, so
It's like
man,
anything
appreciate it.
else.
Food
Yep.
is always great.
Please come for the food at least.
Yeah, if nothing else.
If nothing else, but there will be something for you besides that when you
And
get
you don't
there.
have to hear Tom Barrett tell the story about how he got cut from the football team and how his dad consoled him, one of those dad. But we got it every year, man. Bear Johnson doesn't have such stories, but he did. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and you've heard the music. We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Welcome back, ladies. Missed you last week.
Yeah, it was really busy last week.
Yeah, it was. Happy to be back.
Yeah, Brenda was taking care of the priest.
Yeah.
Have you seen the? It had me. I was laughing the next day, but they do this thing. This is a skit back. I want to say in the '90s on, or maybe early 2000s on Saturday Night Live, and you had these two women. They were on like they were at NPR.
Mhm.
So at NPR, they're very quiet and the whole thing. And Alec Baldwin was on, and he was a baker. His last name was Sweaty.
Hmm.
So he created this dish, these round balls, and so the whole thing was sweaty balls, right?
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah,
Sweaty
that's what.
balls.
But you can hear them, and they never raise their voice, right? And they do all these little things they going on around it. But that's what you guys sound like. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
morning.
How's everybody? Good morning.
Okay.
That's the best
I
response I've
kind of
heard.
think you're still asleep today too, Julia. I
Okay.
am tired.
Was you watching the game last night?
No, but I don't know how they were physically able to do that at that level.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Yeah,
And then they have to turn around and play again this evening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I dozed off and I woke up.
and they still playing.
And yeah, I think I caught the 10th inning on. I think it was 10th inning.
Yeah. But when you think about it, baseball is one of the highest paid sports, and they play more games than any other sport.
They
Yeah.
do.
And it's different. You're not, it's not like football where you need a whole week to recover. Baseball is a lot of standing.
What time that game come on?
Tonight?
What time did it came on yesterday?
7,
And it was 1
something in the morning.
147.
6 hours and 39 minutes. Second longest.
That's
How many pitchers did they rifle through? Because
I
know
think they went.
Probably their whole.
Yeah, because
Whole
Kershaw pitched last night. Yeah, they went through the
They said
bullpen.
all 18. All pitchers did 18, something like 18
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
double the time.
yeah,
both
that's-
sides.
That's rough.
Yeah. So we'll see tonight what it's going to look like. They might score a lot of runs tonight because the pitchers are tired. But Otani's pitching tonight, so
They said he asked if he could pitch.
yeah.
He
Oh,
volunteered.
Yeah. We haven't had anybody like this dude since Babe Ruth, when Babe Ruth was with the Red Sox, and he was a great pitcher, but he's also a great hitter. This dude, just amazing, man. So I'm fortunate that I'm alive to get a chance to see him.
Well, the one thing
Did
you
you
would
go
you
see
would
him?
you would you
No.
would you would imagine that a pitcher should be able to hit well, and that's not always the case.
Yeah, very few pitchers have been like real big hitters because they just don't hit regularly.
Mhm.
hmm
So, but
And what league was that or division was that where pitchers didn't even have to bat?
American
Right,
League.
that was the American
Yeah.
They
League.
did
Yeah.
DH, and now they have DH in both leagues. So, well, welcome back. Certainly missed you all.
yeah.
Missed you too, Keith.
I was listening. You're having a health, in-person health, an in-person health.
Yes.
Come meet you at Pfizer. Not Pfizer.
Thrive On.
Thrive On.
Yeah,
And when is that?
14.
No,
Of November.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're gonna have folks there on the wrong day, Keith.
is it 14?
I think it's the 12th, isn't it?
Oh snap!
Check your calendar.
Somewhere around there.
No, check your calendar.
Is it
It's,
November?
I think it's 12 because no, it's on a Wednesday.
it's on a Wednesday. Yeah,
It's the
Oh,
12th.
12th.
12th. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So disregard the 14th. You show up on the 14th. We
and
won't
he
be
cut
there.
the commercial, Brenda.
Oh, he did, and he didn't.
Yeah.
See,
This guy
he's
here.
like me. I'm just not all with it today. He must not have been all with it that day.
Well, reading
Reading is fundamental.
reading is fundamental, and part of good reading is retention.
Processing
True.
that.
Yeah, like you're able to kind of remember that. When we talk about our aging brains, and how we were talking about young people, and they were going like, "Oh man, they can take it because they don't have anything in there." We're filling up empty spaces. So there's their capacity to take on information. I don't know. Do we ever get to a point though where we've pretty much expended our capacity to take in information and
I
retain
think
it?
at one time, like if you're just overwhelmed for, let's say you're studying, and then there's a point where your brain's just like, I can't retain anymore. But that's just like temporarily,
They
but
say
not long
we
term.
don't use.
Most of our, yeah, we have lots of storage
Well,
in
they
our
said
brain,
that that's kind of a myth that we do use most of our brain,
but not for memory.
not for memory, but that brain is. You all talk about it all the time, just how that brain functions.
Sure, the different regions of the brain, they do
Yeah.
different things.
I'm always looking to see has my dementia kicked in. Little things like, wow, I can't remember this name. But then I said, you know how many people you met
Hmm.
in a lifetime?
I was never good at names, but faces.
Really?
Hmm. But when you forget how to get home, that's a problem.
Oh, I thought it was the alcohol. All right. Many a night. How did I get home?
I'm home.
I'm home,
What am I
right?
doing here?
That's a problem.
Yeah. Let's talk, because I know we're gonna talk about. But as we age,
Mhm.
and I say that because we deal with a seasoned demographic here. A lot of people are facing those things. What about these things where they're offering different things to help with our memory? Is that effective?
The medications that they advertise on television.
Yeah.
I would talk to my primary care physician, and there are certain physicians that work with seniors, gerontologists, and I would go to them. I wouldn't take anything off of television.
Hmm. And some of them are more appropriate for different types of memory loss if you actually have a memory loss. But yeah, I know there's a lot of over-the-counter meds that people take. I don't know if they're effective or not, but
Or if how they would react with the current medications that you are on. All that plays a part in it. But they making money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had a teacher when I was in middle school who really had impressed upon us the importance of taking copious notes.
Mhm.
And when I was in college, I really was a very good note taker. I just write it down, and I could, because you'd always refer back to it.
Mhm.
And I'm only asking that question now because it's important, certainly when I'm on the air here, that I'm kind of remembering things and facts, but we conflate things too. Like you put together a memory and you go, no, wait a minute, that happened then, but this happened now.
and
So-
the busier we are, the more forgetful we can be because we've got so much going on, stress, anxiety, taking care of everything. Your cognitive decision making is kind of the last thing, is because everything else takes precedence, keeping your body alive. You got to deal with the anxiety and all that sort of stuff. So cognitive thinking, that's why when people maybe have something serious happen or maybe a death in the family, they don't remember well. They may start getting very forgetful for a short period of time. You only have so much energy in your body to use, and your cognitive functioning, those critical thinking skills are the
Don't we have a tendency, though, when we're dealing with trauma, a lot of times to try to bury that trauma?
Sometimes we do. Sometimes it's a shock to the system, and part of that that's the reason that we do have trauma or forgetfulness, or because our body's just not ready, can't process everything at all. Grief is, especially sudden grief can be really, really, really difficult, and so that's a physiological thing too, where we just don't think as clearly when things like that happen. If you have somebody in the middle of grief and then you're trying to talk to them about reasoning and making difficult decisions, it's really, really hard for them to do it. That's why I'm not giving a plug, but I guess I will when we talk about with family members. knowing in advance what people may like or want, or having a power of attorney for healthcare. Because when those things happen, it's nice to have all that ready, planned out or in writing, because family members may not be able to make just off the cuff make decisions because they're just not thinking as clearly.
And I think that, especially at end of life,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you're related to the individual,
Mm-hmm.
I kid. I said, "Now look, your wife, she'll pull that plug. she won't even think about it. She pulling that plug. Your family, Lord, we believe in miracles. Your wife is going, no, he told me he didn't want to live like this. Cha-ching, cha-ching."
But
But
if they have it in writing that that's what they want,
right.
then that's, you may be thinking yes, no.
What if she got a new
But-
car
but-
sitting outside the funeral home?
I said, I'll die in July. She gonna be at that funeral in the fur coat. It's gonna be 90 degrees, and she's sitting up there in the fur coat.
New
I'm gonna
Cadillac
miss
sitting
some.
outside the-
But I had this fur coat to remember. Keep always wanting me to have this fur coat.
Not when you're the fourth lady.
That's terrible. But
But true, I know it's
a lot of times people say, don't pull the plug, don't do this, don't do that. Then they send them off to an extended care facility to
Mhm.
rot, and they don't come visit.
right.
So you have to.
What word did you say they do what?
They rot. You know?
That's the clinical term.
Yeah. Yeah.
What she got? Rotten.
I've seen it before.
I don't think
Ashes,
this show is
dust
supposed to be
dust.
this fun.
Yeah.
This show isn't supposed to be this much fun.
I say that because they end up with bed sores.
Oh, yeah.
They
It's-
end up with different.
They might even be vegetable, non-communicative.
Yeah,
Right.
they're just laying there, but the family couldn't come to that decision,
And there's a difference in being in a coma
right.
and being brain dead.
Mhm.
Because in a
Right.
coma, your brain is still functioning,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
So
Sure. And that's why, like, some of the forms that, they do ask if this and this, would you want to be on life support if it was, you knew it was long-term permanent damage, or if there's a possibility that, because, we put people in comas sometimes for certain reasons. There might be that you got to be intubated for a short period of time to allow the lungs to heal,
Right.
and whatever the treatment is. But then we know we're going to come off that ventilator.
Right.
So to just say, I never want a ventilator, it might be just a short term until they can deal whatever's going on, as opposed to putting it on because your brainstem's dead and you can't function. I mean, your body's only being kept alive because of that, and you're never coming off.
my mother, boy, I tell you, my mother's so funny. So she's in rehab. She got in sex. She got rehab. Won't do that again. But
They won't accept her again, though, either. Will they,
Well,
Keith?
I
No,
don't
I'm
know.
just kidding.
I don't know.
Oh,
There might be
yeah.
some truth to that. But so of course they come in now. The social workers coming in, that do everything. So some advanced directives, and so they asked the question. They said, not that it will happen here, but would you want us to, do not resuscitate? It's a DNR.
Mhm.
Okay. And my mother said, no. And the look on my sister's face was like, but then my mother looked directly at her and said, no.
Like, I'm telling you, no. I'm reinforcing this.
You see the look on my mouth because, my
Uh-huh.
sister didn't say anything, but she had a reaction, and my mother said no. And then because we've talked about it, someone as frail as my mom, you're going to do more damage trying to
you
save
are.
her life.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
CPR is going to be
Right.
rough.
And I think the people, there was a young lady I knew, she's gone home to glory now, but she was a nurse. And part of my parish responsibility was to go out and visit her. And she go, Reverend Keith, I'm a nurse. They do not resuscitate me. I do not want to be on a ventilator. And she knew she had because she had told me this maybe a couple of years prior to that, before she was hospitalized, that she had a cancer that was incurable. And she knew it. And so, she made her peace with God. And but I think, part of that whole end of life, there are people out there that provide you with counseling, provide you with support. But Brenda, you made a great point. There's a lot of emotions, that go into it. And sometimes it's more about us than it is that person. If they're suffering, why would I want them to suffer? Just so I can
Say
say mama's still here, but mama, in some ways, mama's not here.
Yeah.
Not the mom
That you knew. Yeah.
Right.
I had a patient that had a brainstem stroke. This was years ago. And so the family, yes, we want everything. They did it. And they regretted that decision for so long because with the brainstem, all of our basic functions are controlled in the brainstem, breathing, heart rate, all of that. And they regretted it. But at the time, everything was, do you want us to do this? And not even understanding what it may look like if he did survive. They just wanted him to survive. That's all they could think was survive, right? And so they went with the full CPR, keeping him on a ventilator and all that. And he lived for years and years on a ventilator, not even aware of his surroundings. And it was really, really tough on the family. We have gotten better over the years in explaining to people. And there are times when we could remove life support if we find years ago, you couldn't do that. And, especially in certain hospitals, if you had somebody ended up on a ventilator, even if it showed there was no brain activity, they weren't coming off that ventilator, but because it was more of an ethical issue, not a legal issue. And so they've come a long way, I think, in being able to help
Catholic
families very much so. Yeah.
Because of their, the concept of life and death, from conception to the grave, literally. And then there are people who they hold out for miracles. But I don't know how many people, if it's ever been documented, have come back from being declared brain dead. And even if you do come back, you're not gonna be able to function.
Yeah.
That's difficult. Back in the day, this was in the 80s, Governor Richard Lamb of Colorado was saying, and it really took it out of context, but he was talking about how at that point the elderly and boomers hadn't really got to the point that they were elderly yet, but they were
on their way.
They were on their way. World War II generation was still there. And he said, maybe you have a duty to die. And that set up all kind of ethical questions, as you said. It's not legal, but ethical questions about should we take every means to spare life? But then it gets into the I'm going to use a Greek word here, the kairos, the actual essence of it. Even though this person's living longer, are they really living? Beyond biologically living, what about my brain function, my mental, that kind of thing? So,
as an intensive care nurse, I dealt with a lot of those issues with families, especially with African American families. It was more difficult for them to take the fact that
Jesus take the wheel. Jesus,
that you're saying that their loved one is not there because they're like, look at her, she's breathing. And because sometimes you take them off the vent and they still don't die right away. They breathe and go for a long time to the point that I got so exhausted with being in that middle that I had come to the point that God gonna do what he's gonna do, and if it's your time to die, you're gonna die whether you're on that vent or not. So I stopped arguing with families.
When she calls you home.
I started.
Jermaine is gone, so I can say when she called you home.
I just started empathizing with them and trying to get them prepared for what was going to happen. If she made it out of intensive care, and we used to say they pegged them, they would trach them and put a G tube in their stomach,
To
so
feed
that
'em.
they feed them and they put them on a long-term vent. Maybe the family needed to go through that grieving period to be ready for what ultimately was going to happen. But at that time, they were not, and it was too strenuous and too difficult to try to get them to realize that it was exhausting, but it was some and being in medical intensive care, it wasn't quick death. It was something that would go on,
Mhm.
would be chronic, critical.
And then, like you said, then they prone to bed sores
Mhm.
and become very frail,
Yeah.
and
And,
it's 24-hour.
pneumonia. They get pneumonia. They get all the complications you get from not being mobile up, and everything. And so it's very difficult, and you have to walk with the family wherever they are.
Yeah, and I that's part of the training that I think certainly clergy should have.
Yes.
Being able to understand, end of life, the support that the family needs. Because, like I said, there's a lot of emotions,
It's a lot.
lot of feelings that people have, and some people might feel guilt. I was the one who said, disconnect the machines.
Hmm.
But no, I mean, if people are suffering,
Hmm.
I don't,
Hmm.
sometimes, and I think this is a great kind of setup when we come back from break to talk about the cancer that we're talking about, just because of
It's
its
different.
mortality, right? That it has very high mortality compared to other cancers.
Mhm.
So, y'all ready?
Right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh.
No.
All right. Well,
We didn't mean to
Well, there we
offend. You're listening to Community Voice from Inside Be Healthy Be You. Miss Julie Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan of Ascension, Wisconsin, the St. Joseph's campus. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and we're inside Be Healthy, Be You with Miss Julia Means and Miss Brenda Buchanan of Ascension, Wisconsin. And so we were just talking about, these things, and don't we talk a lot about funerals?
All the time. All the time.
Man,
Might be our age.
Or your
and we-
location.
Yeah, and
And our location.
Right,
I was
right.
gonna say that, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we
Kind
are-
of right in your
we are
face
kind
all
of
the time.
depth adjacent. Oh yeah, when when Nate Lucky gets to this corner, Nate be doing about 1.5 miles an hour. He'll pull up here, and we all now everybody's looking out the window, right? So I'll be in the middle. I'm talking to the vice president. Excuse me, Madam Vice President. Let me shout out Nate Lucky to the good folks there at the New Pitts Mortuary. My good friend Deacon Michael Jones. Let me just shout out. I'm sorry, Madam President, you were talking about.
Right. Click.
Click. Oh, somebody else I always shout out too is Batesville Caskets.
Yes.
I do
Mhm.
Batesville Caskets, man. That Batesville is in, I don't know all you good Mississippians, but that's in great state of Mississippi.
Batesville. I stayed all night there one night.
Oh, in Batesville.
Mhm.
Really?
You stayed at the casket factory all
No,
night?
no, we were on our way somewhere, and
What the beds look like in the
It
hotel?
was
Like little caskets.
right many years ago, and it was different. It was different. I think a fight broke out in the room next door. Or
Oh.
something. It was quite
Ooh,
exciting.
Life, man. Oh man.
But I needed to rest. We
Would
were
you-
driving. We were
Okay.
driving. We
Okay.
stopped
Where were y'all going?
I can't remember. Probably Georgia.
You go through Mississippi to go to Georgia?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going. But I know I stayed in Batesville. I'm like, I'm in Batesville, Mississippi. Okay.
That's why she had to stop and take a nap.
Take a
'cause she
nap
went the
so
wrong
she
way.
know where she
Had
was
to come
going.
all the way
Yeah.
back around.
Where are you going? Minnesota. How'd you get to Mississippi?
right. Girl, I know it starts with an M, but wrong place. Wrong
She was
place.
on
Just a
55.
little turnaround. Just
Where
a
we would
little
go.
turnaround. Man, I was telling I went to this restaurant Saturday. Was it Saturday night? Yeah, it was Saturday night. And I did a different way going to Blue Mountain Road. I did so many U-turns. It got to the point GPS started yelling at you.
Yeah.
I said
Take a U-turn.
right, GPS is frustrated with me, man, because I'm just U-turning and U-turning. I'm going like, I'm gonna get here eventually.
Rerouting.
Man,
What restaurant was it?
Famous Dave's.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the one you talked about.
Yeah.
The new one? The
Yeah,
one on
On Blue Mountain.
Mhm.
Somebody texted me when I brought it up
It
yesterday.
was already one on Blue
Yeah.
Mountain, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
This is
Yeah,
close
straight
to,
out Blue
Brookfield.
Mountain.
It is in Brookfield.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, right there.
And yeah.
It's
in a
about 2
little-
blocks east of Moreland Road,
Mhm.
which I didn't know turns
East
into-
of, okay, so you're talking because there was one further out, like right as you get into Waukesha.
Right, right.
Oh,
That's the
No,
one.
you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It used to be like when you got to that turn
Mhm.
where you
Right
could go
on Blue
Waukesha or
Mountain.
stay on 90 or get on
Or
94.
18, I think you can go 18 or
Right,
something
you go
around
right
there.
up that little hill.
Yeah.
It was right there on the hill.
So did
that
they
Sunset?
they move
That's the one they moved?
or that's an additional one?
They closed that one because the
Okay.
only one that was open was the one on South 27th Street.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So another shameless plug. So this morning we're talking about pancreatic cancer.
a very, very, very difficult cancer because it's no screenings for it, and it's very hard to detect until it gets too serious or has metastasized to another organ. So, although they're much better now,
They are still not the great. I mean, it's better. They have better treatments, different chemo drugs. They also have some of your own bone marrow transplants, things like that that can help. But it still is. I think it's still only like a 13% survival rate, but that's double of what it was 10 years ago.
right?
So we're definitely on the, upswing. It's just a very difficult to diagnose. I mean, that pancreas is packed so far back that, and tucked into other organs that is difficult to see if there's any tumors or anything there.
And that's one of the things that they can look for is a tumor.
Right. But usually by the time you see a tumor, it's stage 4.
So the function of the pancreas is to
Well,
Okay.
it's a organ, but it's also a gland. It secretes hormones, both insulin and then some of our digestive enzymes also are secreted from it. So you can't live without a pancreas. There have been some pancreatic transplants in the last several years, which have been really, really successful. But if that organ is totally gone, it's not survivable.
You know, I had a church member that was diagnosed at Thanksgiving with pancreatic cancer. He was gone by Christmas.
Mhm.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard. It was hard to, be with the family. It was hard to watch. It was hard because he was a can do it person. He fixed everything at the church. Everybody used him to repair things, and to see him go that quickly was devastating to the family, church. So pancreatic cancer is something that you really don't. The only person I know that survived it was Pastor Malone. That's the
Mhm.
only living person that I know that
Mhm.
survived pancreatic cancer, and he's been out. He's been cured for many years
Mhm.
now, and he's still preaching and teaching and
Yeah,
praising God.
my best friend died of pancreatic cancer when we were 40.
Mm.
She was one that lived a long time because of where the tumors were, um, and she probably too because they identified it. They thought she had a cyst on her pancreas. She had been sick for years, on and off with pancreatitis, and then they thought they found a cyst, and they were what they call a pseudocyst, and they were going to go in and drain it. But once they went in, they just closed her back up. But back then, at least, none of the scans could pick up that there was any tumors there. But when it gets wrapped around in the vasculature, it's anytime you do not even just pancreatic cancer, surgery in that area is very
What is
difficult.
that pancreatitis?
That's an inflammation of the pancreas, so it can be an infection or just inflammation. Extremely painful. It's most common in people that drink a lot, but it doesn't have to be. But that's one of the things when somebody has a pancreas, that's part of the history of trying to figure out what's causing it is if you're a person who drinks a lot of alcohol. But it is rough. My trainer years ago, this was a woman that she didn't eat any processed foods. She was a trainer, is in
Didn't
great
smoke.
shape. She didn't smoke, and in great shape. And she went in, her husband thinking that she was having a gallbladder attack, took her into the hospital, and it was pancreatic cancer, and she was gone within less than a month. And it's still usually less than 2 months for most people that are diagnosed in that late stage. Most go within a few weeks being a.
So there's no type of early symptoms on that? Or?
Well, there can be symptoms, but they're vague. That can be, sometimes nausea and vomiting. But a lot of those symptoms, digestive issues, don't really show up until much later. Acute onset of diabetes, things like that can kind of make you think to look closer at the pancreas. But overall, again, because it's so hard to visualize that, they do now have some markers in the blood, some different tests that give them some indication that there might be some cancer in the gallbladder. In the pancreas, but nothing's 100%. But usually by the time you have serious enough symptoms, it's late. It's late in the game.
Okay.
So when you say sudden onset of diabetes, is that you hadn't had it, but then for whatever reasons now.
Yes.
And that's because of the enzymes in the sugar?
It's because the pancreas is what produces insulin.
Okay.
So if the pancreas is that tumor is in that portion of the pancreas that secretes insulin, then it's not functioning. It may not be functioning. So
they said diabetes, especially type 2.
mhm.
What is type 2 diabetes?
That's when your body is still producing insulin, but the insulin is usually not effective or not enough, and you have rising blood sugars because your insulin is insufficient, but you are producing some insulin.
And a lot of type 2 diabetes is lifestyle. I mean, you can have a pre-genetic disposition for it for sure, but how you eat, being overweight, at lack of exercise, all those things are that if you change those behaviors can sometimes, I won't say you're no longer diabetic, but you might need less medication. But so those lifestyle things make a huge impact on type 2 diabetes.
And I'm all for them being able to help you, because if you have problems managing your diet, even if you have diabetes, it's not going to change. So we have these new medications now that can help you lose weight, and we have monitors that can tell you what your blood sugar is, and then it actually has pumps that can pump the insulin in you. So people should not suffer with type 2 or diabetes like they did in the past, because we have too much medication and technology nowadays that you should be able to still live a decent life, a fulfilling life. But you have to, some people don't want to take the weight loss medication. It make me feel bad, or that they don't
being overweight and taking shots is not feeling good either.
Yeah. So you got to get that mindset that I have to do what I have to do to be able to live a healthy life. And if wearing that meter in your arm, some people don't want to wear it because they don't want people to see it, and it's telling you what your blood sugar is,
as opposed to having to prick your finger.
Right.
Yes.
3, sometimes 4 times a day,
Yes.
5 times a day.
Yes.
So that is just like instant. This is what my blood sugar is at this moment. And it allows you to have tighter control because you can see if you're starting to go low. And some people, their numbers may be high, but they may dip low, really low at certain times. And they can do a printout of that sheet now that looks and says, okay, so for whatever reason, between hours of 2 and 4, your numbers are dropping. So that would tell us maybe this type of insulin we may need to decrease because you're peaking at that time. Or maybe your blood sugar is low at this certain time. Maybe we need to keep the insulin, but maybe you need to eat something before you go to bed to help that. So having that glucose monitor isn't just telling us right now and then. That printout can make a huge difference in how much insulin you take, when you take it, what type you take. It's a big deal. It's really a big deal.
I know I was talking to somebody and this alarm kept going off. The alarm kept going off. I'm going, what is that noise? Her alarm was saying that her blood sugar was too high. No, you need to go take. You need to go
take
fix
your
that.
insulin.
You need to go take care of that.
Just a little high.
Just a little bit high.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm like,
500.
Going
Just
off,
a little
but
high.
her bedside manner, you're just a little high, though. You might want to go across the street.
Get your insulin.
Right. Just never raise your voice. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a comment and question. My comment is that I called Ascension to find out when my last mammogram was because I had made up in my mind I had to go over to Pro Health to do my mammogram due to the United Healthcare insurance. And a lady told me that they reached an agreement, and I was able to schedule my mammogram with St. Mary's Ascension. I'm so happy.
Awesome. Yeah.
I am so happy. So I didn't know if the public knew that or not, but we can go back to Ascension St. Mary's with United Healthcare now because they did reach an agreement.
Yes, it was on the news. It's
Oh,
it's been out there. But
okay.
thank you for calling and saying that. I know many of my seniors were so upset
Yes.
because they, they did.
And many of them were due their mammograms
They
in
were
October
due,
because
yeah.
of the way we would do the bus.
So it was.
Yeah, it was my mammogram. I had my children there, and then I had my OBGYN that's there. So I was disappointed, but I was glad to know, and I missed that coverage. My question is about perimenopausal. I talked to my OBGYN, and he said, no, you don't need to get on no hormone therapy. And I'm calling to find out, is there a certain vitamin or medicine that you all took without resorting to hormone therapy for perimenopausal?
You know, there are.
And I love your sweater, by the way. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. There,
I'm ready for fall looking at your sweater.
yeah, it's here. But there, I would be very careful, and I would listen to your doctor because that's what caused my breast cancer.
What, the hormone therapy?
Not, I didn't have hormone therapy, but
Okay.
estrogen. I had estrogen-induced breast cancer. So
Okay, so he's telling me, no, don't do anything. He's telling me to deal with it.
no,
And
no,
I'm like, there has to be something that'll make me calmer and not freak out on my husband over and over again. I'm trying to
girl,
stay
isn't that the
calm.
truth?
Mhm. It is.
Oh, and then I
telling
just
you.
sweat. Oh, I'm just like, something has to shake
So
here.
it was the menopause.
Wait,
That's where you
Keith,
just
close
started?
your ears, Keith. Please close your ears.
It all started. It never happened before that, right?
But I can relate.
And they're trying to tell me, like, don't. He's suggesting do not take the hormone therapy. He said it's not that serious and just fight through it. But I'm like, no, I need to talk to someone else.
Yeah.
There has to be something on the market to help you deal with just the pre-change.
Yes,
No?
there is, and actually there was a African American female OB/GYN doctor
Mhm.
on WNOV, and she was speaking of a whole. There are a lot of different things nowadays that they can do to help you through that period.
What did y'all do?
Well,
Hello?
Well, there's still a Mr. Means, so she didn't kill Mr. Means.
I'll hang up and listen. Thank you, guys.
It probably got close, but it You wonder why there's not more homicides with. Oh my God, boy!
They don't realize it that I had a hysterectomy, so mine went quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good thing I did, because had not I had the hysterectomy where they took out a lot of my estrogen producing organs, I would have been full of cancer. Full of cancer.
Yeah.
And so you never know. You know, a lot of times you never know why things are happening, why they happen. But yeah, my husband said something flipped to me, and went down in his man cave, and and I went down there too.
You don't have to play.
I kicked the door down.
Superhuman strength. You all green.
We knew that part when you said he went down in his man cave.
Yeah, he went down. She followed him.
Yeah. You didn't think it was gonna be that easy, did you?
Yes.
And what did you just say?
Nothing. We good.
Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I need to know the name of your person you have on today and title.
Tell us.
Oh, I'm Julia Means. I'm a registered nurse. And Brenda Buchanan, who's also a registered nurse. And we work in the community for Ascension.
I'm a member of Ascension, and I'm so happy and blessed and prayed for that they got back in my network so I can still keep seeing my same doctor.
You know, I didn't realize how many people um are connected to Ascension, and I realized it when they were going through those changes. But a lot of insurance employers had United Healthcare.
Well, we have through the county, our retirement is through United Healthcare.
Yes.
So I don't know how many people were over at Ascension.
MPS.
MPS.
But
Yeah.
but
Please.
Dr. Parris,
Hmm.
I want to give you some. I want to give you a compliment and the nurse too, because you are very professorial in your handling of the situation and very informative. And y'all should give college credit, postgraduate credit for your presentation. And your guest there, who the lady, she's very professorial. And y'all have a good one.
You too.
Well, thank you.
Brenda, you had stepped out.
Oh, yeah.
They just wanted to know, did you kill anybody when you were perimenopause?
No, that does not mean I didn't want to. But and I can tell you there were some days in the wintertime I was outside in the middle of the night by myself with very little on because I was
Sweating.
so hot. I had to change my sheets often in the middle of the night. I'd wake up, my sheets would be wet. I'd have to get up and change them. So yeah, it's no joke. It's a
And for somebody to tell you, just deal with it.
Oh, it's like, well, those are the ones that probably were about to get killed.
I was talking to
Yeah.
this woman, and she said, I'm just like on fire.
And it does. And it comes out of nowhere. We could just be talking. All of a sudden you see me, I'm flushed. It's like this furnace turned on in my belly. And it's not
real.
fun. It's
real.
not fun. And because of your lack of sleep, you get very irritable. Yeah, it's not something fun to deal
And
with.
I guess she was asking the question though: is there some pharmaceutical approach to it? I mean, do you?
Again, I mean, her doctors. There are different things that aren't. Some doctors use other things, not estrogen, because of the risk that it may put a woman in. But also, for the hot flashes, for sure. Not drinking hot foods, caffeine, spicy things, those all contribute to, that fire that just gets turned on inside of you.
Julia was talking about the estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So is that driving that? Is it too much estrogen, or is it that now
Yeah.
you're depleting estrogen?
Well, no, the depleting the estrogen is what's causing the symptoms.
Okay,
that's what I'm
asking.
Yes, of that. So, but giving extra, God made our bodies the way, decrease that estrogen as we age. Because
Now that would be a he.
yeah.
God was a he.
Yeah.
Because
No
if it
more
was
babies.
she, right?
Yeah,
If
no
it was
more
a she,
babies.
I don't think you'd be going
Yeah,
through.
but you're right. There's a lot of things I don't know that we go through that maybe kind of lends me to think definitely a he. For sure. But there are some treatments that have helped. But a gynecologist is the best person to talk to about that, not your primary doctor. They know your body, what your risks are. But some of those tumors are fed by estrogen. So if you give an estrogen supplement, yes, it may decrease some of those other crazy symptoms you're having, but then it puts you at greater risk for breast cancer. Or if you have breast cancer that's fed by estrogen, like Julia said hers was, that's definitely, not a good thing. So knowing your health history, histories of breast cancer, all of those things. But a gynecologist really is the best person for you to discuss those things with.
And maybe sometimes the side effects is far worse probably than the symptoms. I don't know if people can imagine that going through it for certain medications you might take for it. Right?
Yeah, but from the people that have taken the medication, they do get some relief from the symptoms. But again, there's a trade-off. So your doctor knowing what your history is, and what your health is the best to determine that. And again, that's going to be a gynecologist, a woman that specializes in those. But so many people are going online and getting these patches and that they're doctors online that are prescribing this. I don't recommend that at all. I think if that's something, if your symptoms are so severe that you need something, again, you need to talk to your own personal gynecologist, not go find somebody that's just going to give you the patches to put on, or things like that, because the most people don't understand that there could be significant side effects to that. But again, like we always say, talk to your doctor. In this case, your primary doctor is probably not the best. Your OBGYN is the person.
Somebody who studies it and knows.
Right. And yes.
Know the latest things that are out there. Like I said, I heard that woman on this station, and she was awesome. And I'm going, wow, we've come a long way. You don't have to suffer through that anymore.
Mhm.
There are a lot of things that they're doing nowadays. And
What is the average duration of people going into menopause? Going
It
through
can be up to
menopause?
10 years of
Wow.
perimenopause before you actually get there. We start earlier, that those levels of estrogen start decreasing over time.
it's terrible.
Yeah, so you see the women, they start to get more belly fat. They start to get the hot flashes. We call it crazy brain, just not thinking as clearly. A lot of different symptoms, they start showing up 10
Now,
years
what if the
prior.
crazy brain was there
Oh,
before?
I know I had crazy brain. Like, I'm crazy, so you better watch out. No, but just like, you're just not thinking as clearly, you're just, your body's going through a lot when you're going through that. But most people at about the end of 10 years is probably in menopause. I think average age now is about 55 for
Mhm.
menopause.
But men go through
They go through
changes
hormone
too.
changes too.
Yeah, and
Well, you're seeing a lot of, I think, him now where they're telling you that they can go in and do testosterone.
Mhm.
The problem with that, though, is that a lot of times it's that artificial.
Mhm.
So the body's not producing it. So now you're dependent on
On it.
that
Mhm.
artificial thing
Right.
going forward. So
And the thing is a lot of our prostate cancers are sensitive to testosterone. So one of the treatments, sometimes depending on the type of cancer that they do, is they shut down those hormones in men, because their prostate is being fed in the same
and
way
some men
that.
have gotten estrogen, right?
Yes.
Right.
Right.
hmm
Yes.
So the advances are great. You just and yeah, you shouldn't, if your symptoms are so significant that it's really affecting your ability to function on a daily basis, you really need to talk to your gynecologist about that, because there are lots of options out there, and I don't want people, like I said, going online to online doctors and getting this estrogen replacement, because that can be so dangerous.
And then some people go to the herbs,
Mhm.
and herbs are fine if you know what you're doing and it's not causing any complex problems with your medication.
Because it can throw off the balance, right?
You can throw
Sure,
off.
they can
make you
interact with each
bleed.
other. They
Yeah.
can make things worse. They can make the other medication not work. And so that's why I know, I'm not against supplements or anything like that. I am if you need them. But even if you are on supplements, you need to tell your doctor that. They need to know that. Your pharmacist needs to know that. So when they ask, what's your med list? And you're like, they don't need all that. I'd just take that over the counter. Yes, they do, because that might be making your medication you're taking not even effective anymore.
We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan. Again, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Community Voice. Well, I tell you, the conversations off air sometimes.
Educational.
Yeah, they are. And this is again one of the great benefits of this program is that we put it on a level that I think people can understand. They don't. Most of us don't have the benefit of going to nursing school or going to medical school, so you can hear these things or see things, and you kind of have a sense of something that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when it's explained to you that people can kind of recognize it. One of the things that kind of stood out in the factoid on this was
That don't sound good.
no, that's those bad tires. Um, that women both suffer from pancreatic cancer kind of equally. Usually,
Mhm.
you would have it. It's more male or more female,
Mm-hmm.
but this doesn't seem to have. It's not gender specific.
No.
It's not. And out of the top 10 cancers, this is the worst, but it's getting better.
Mhm.
So that's something that medicine has come a long way. Uh, Cancer is not a death sentence anymore. It's a chronic disease.
Yeah, I think, and that is. I was going to say don't take Tylenol, but
Yes. Okay. Right.
per the chief medical
Mhm.
officer.
And also
Uh,
recently, well, go ahead. I shouldn't say that. So.
no, I'm just saying, but in terms of what people hear, a lot of times. So I think it's okay to, first of all, as you encourage people to do, to go see a doctor
Mhm.
or talk to a doctor,
Mhm.
talk to a physician. I know we can go look stuff up,
Mhm.
and people have a tendency to. And I'm not saying that information is inaccurate. A lot of times, especially if you go to the CDC website right now, that you can kind of get a sense of this is what it is and this is how it should be handled. We talked about some of the causes. Sometimes it's lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
but you say it's also hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then, so what? I'm diagnosed now. What are some of the treatments that might
Well,
be
there's some your typical chemo drugs, which there are a lot of newer ones. There's some of those immunosuppressive type treatments where they use or immunotherapy. There's some targeted like cell therapy that I don't know a whole lot about, but something that's been successful. Of course, surgery is sometimes an option, but they're not. It's not a great surgery. I mean, it's a
But when
long
you said,
recovery.
Julia mentioned possible transplants.
Right. Nowadays there are. The problem is if it's usually by the time it's identified, it has spread to another organ.
That's the problem.
And so then that's the problem. If it's gotten into the lymph nodes or other organs, then if you put another one in there, it's probably that you have a greater chance. So, and you're not healthy enough usually to undergo surgery at that point anyway, or kind of transplant
Because
surgery.
based on everything, you have to be
Right.
in your condition.
Yeah.
Tyrone calls in and talks about how he had to deal with everything before he could get the kidney transplant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was-
Nowadays, those pancreatic transplants are usually more geared towards diabetes, that
Mm.
sort of thing, where the body is otherwise healthy. But it's early detection, like I said, is very uncommon, but that's the best treatment option. But there's a lot of studies that are still going on. My girlfriend got in a clinical trial, which is probably why she lived longer than most people do. And that was down in Illinois at that Cancer Treatment Centers of America or something like that. So she went through that. But it's a hard disease. It's no joke.
Mm-mm.
It's hard.
But we should know our bodies. Know when you're losing weight and not trying.
Let's talk about. So is that loss of appetite, or you eating and you still losing
Your
weight?
body's burning calories at a very high rate. Those tumors are
Taking all your
so they're taking all your nutrients and in energy, and so that's why you
and
lose weight.
setting up its own blood system.
Yeah, it's doing whatever it needs to do to survive, and so it's it takes a lot of energy for that. So sometimes people are, like she said, losing weight and there's no other explanation, and that gets scary when you have somebody that's losing weight and there's no other explanation.
We're tired all the time,
Mhm.
no energy. If you know this is abnormal for you, then you need to follow up and go to your doctor and say, I'm losing weight, I'm tired, and then he will start looking, or she will start looking to see what's going on with you. 'Cause something is off.
Right.
And you know yourself. Then you should know your body. You should know and say, I don't know why I'm so tired. And then this person said, do I look any different? I'm like, like, yeah, you got
But you never raise your voice.
I'm like, no,
You never raise your voice. Yes, you do look.
Yeah, I see this.
And do you know your doctor's number? I'm not trying to panic you, but do you?
No, that ain't Julia all the time. She'd be like, girl, you better call your doctor.
Sometimes people, they need you to go.
Shake them.
Yeah, get in now. What are you waiting on? And others, you don't want to scare them because they'll run the other way. But
And sometimes with pancreatic cancer too, they have a lot of GI issues. So a lot of issues with
loose
stools, nausea, vomiting, just not feeling good all the time.
different color
Stools, different colors.
and urine, different color.
Well, last time we were here, we went through a whole about 20 minutes on urine color.
Yeah, color and bubbles.
And bubbles, yeah. And I was looking. Well, ever since we had this conversation, I'm always checking.
You've had bubbles now, no, haven't you, Keith?
Bubbles,
You've had some bubbles.
But it looked like, like a lemonade. And that's where we're trying to get it
That
to.
sounds good. Yeah.
So
Nothing brown, nothing brown.
Nothing brown
last
and
time-
nothing so clear nothing that looks like water.
And that's, and that I never knew. Well, I guess you could, because they talk about this with runners, that sometimes they have too much water in their system. And I never thought about this idea that we can take in, because, we think water is so healthy. But I guess anytime you overdo something, there's going to be a negative side effect.
Yeah,
or residual
that throws our electrolytes off. They get diluted. And then, those cramps, heart, all
That's
that kind
why
of stuff.
Most people, when they drug test now, they don't use urine. They do folic tests. Because people can, you used to be able to go to Dr. Carter.
would
They
tell
can
you.
do a whole
Usually,
lot of
though,
tests.
if your urine is diluted, they won't use the sample. They'll tell you that it's not a good sample, because they know people, especially depending on what you're testing for, they're doing it for a reason.
This is one of the cancers where there's still a lot of research out there, only
Tons
because the
of it.
mortality rate is just so high. And so, that's why, medical research is just so important. When we don't think about it, right? Until we go to the doctor, and then the doctor knows, or, hey, we have this treatment available. Brenda talked about people going to like clinical trials where they're trying to, and I know at one point, I don't know if that law was ever passed. I think it was Right to Try, where, you can do experimental treatments that might have a high likelihood of negative consequences. So,
Right. And and most recently, D'Angelo died of pancreatic cancer. I don't know how long he suffered with it. I didn't read any details, but that was his cause of death.
That was. Yes, and he was a young man.
51.
He was young. With money.
Isn't that something though? Now 51 is young.
It's young.
Right.
Yeah,
You just a baby.
Yeah,
No.
just a baby. A kid DJ who's 32, and I said, "What Wednesdays do your Social Security check come on? Because you sound like an old man. Just be like you sound I'm the one supposed to be complaining about people being on my lawn and all the stuff that old people do. You know, you were talking about how when there was some question about what was going to happen with United Healthcare and Ascension, and you start talking about the seniors.
Mm.
There's no group of people that complain more about life than seniors. You know, I saw the meeting that they had about was that McGovern?
McGovern.
Right.
Those are the seniors.
And then you hear the senior, I paid my taxes.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, yeah, but do you know that what you paid in, you get more back than you possibly paid in? No disrespect to my fellow boomers.
I mean, they are a very informative group of people. They know their rights and they know how to protest. They're good at it, you know, because they came up in
it, right, in the 60s.
So they know how to protest. We have a senior exercise group at Ebenezer on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's a good 25 of them that come on the regular, and they are upset about McGovern.
And then somebody pointed out, well, you know, there's 3 other.
Right.
Then they pointed out, well, if you go up in there, it's going to kill you, right?
See, they had promised that they were going to build apartment buildings above.
But
that.
the problem was zoning and some other concerns, and then who would control it, right? You know, I know for the city, they've done mixed use kind of with their libraries.
All the libraries have apartment buildings.
Have apartment buildings. Even now where Mitchell Street Library is, that used to be our old office, Health and Human Services. Who else was there? Social Security was there.
Oh, that's a nice building.
Yeah, what is the name of that building? Huh? Is it Mitchell? Yeah, historic.
I went to a meeting there. It's really nice.
Oh, it was a nice facility when we got in. I think the group Butterfeathers got it in receivership.
Okay.
And so we were looking someplace to move staff. So we're at this rooming house on 15th and National, and it's reverted back to a rooming house. And so we moved over there. I want to say 90. And so.
Yeah. And now food pantries.
Yeah, please, that's really important now.
Ebenezer has a food pantry on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. It's also an infant pantry where we have formula, some formulas, and for the infants, and you have to bring ID. But just be careful that, you know, some people go from pantry to pantry to pantry and don't really need, you know, getting too much or what's not enough, but we need to be sparingly because everybody, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody needs some help. People that need help.
Will Martin was so famous for saying you had the truly needy and the truly greedy. And
oh yeah, back in the day, when Ebenezer, when we could see all zip codes. So we'd have what, 100 people a day. I mean, they'd be standing in line, but then you go to their trunk and it'd be full. They've been to one pantry after another, and the whole trunk is full. And if they came to Ebenezer, they got a lot, and then they'd be stuffing it. I'm like, okay, this ain't right. That's their, you know, whatever their daily routine is, go from pantry to pantry.
But you know, but it also says something about food insecurity.
Yes.
And how, you know, in America, that's probably realer, if there's such a word, than real. I went out to Emmitsburg a few years ago for our college reunion. And so I was just driving through town. And Emmitsburg, I just never thought it was poor. It was Emmitsburg. And I saw that they had a pantry. And it was kind of jarring for me because I never remembered us when I was a student there ever having a pantry. But hunger is widespread, and they're pointing out that when you look at the SNAP benefits next month, you know, the face have always been black and brown
It
people,
always has.
but the reality, a couple realities. One, that many people on food stamps are working,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The second thing is that not so much in urban areas, it is in urban areas, but there's this whole thing of the white rural poor.
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
don't talk about white rural poor people, right?
Yeah.
That is because those people are sometimes more apt to support a certain political party as
Mhm.
opposed to another one. But that reality is out there, and so
Mhm.
Brenda and I were up in Oshkosh Friday doing flu shots, and we saw, and that's not so rural, but
Mhm.
we saw quite a few people. We were at a food pantry, and we saw quite a few people that needed help.
And remember, I was in Chilton a few weeks ago. Same thing. Many years ago, Julie and I and Nancy presented at this hunger summit,
Mhm.
and we were talking about one of our programs, but we kind of co-taught. Well, we had our portion and they did, the rural folks, and learning on, their needs are different than what we have with the
Mhm.
urban population, but the food hunger thing is the same.
Mhm.
It's just different things that they need. And it was just really eye-opening.
and then I think also sometimes the unwillingness to even go and get that assistance when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were telling us, that this one woman, the pantry would have to put her pantry food in a shopping bag, a grocery bag, because her husband wouldn't let her bring food pantry food in the house.
Mm.
So they had to make it look like she got it from the store.
When he knows she didn't have no money in her pocket to begin with.
But
Yeah, but I worked public assistance, and when I would hear people talk about how people are so willy-nilly when they come down, you don't know what that is
Mm-mm.
when somebody's getting all your personal information.
Mhm.
Now, some people, because maybe it's a generational thing, they kind of understand this is just what you do. But think about all these people right now who are furloughed, and all of a sudden now
Yes.
you might need assistance.
Yes.
And it's we talked about when we did emergency assistance back in 2008, and the flooding was really bad down in Racine, and they only had like 150 people who came in to apply. You knew those people were in need, right?
Mhm.
Where here in the city, we had people coming from
I know
everywhere.
they was lined up.
Right, they was coming from everywhere. Just what
Yeah.
you just talking about, because after Katrina,
Yeah.
they changed the laws that made it easier during a disaster because people might lose their ID, might lose
Yes.
check stubs.
Mhm.
So they just made it, no questions asked other than, are you the person coming
Mhm.
in to get it? We'll come back later and figure out where you eligible.
Mhm.
And man, once it got out, and I don't know what it is for free, but when I hear people here for free, so let me blame our former governor, I think it was Doyle, who was down to Juneteenth. They said, we're eligible for that disaster, that Thursday afternoon.
It
All
was
these
packed.
people, no, it was like 500 people showed up. Like, oh, okay, what are you talking about? And then that Friday, we had 2,400 more than the number of people that come in that building. That month, well, they came Saturday. Staff was working overtime, but the building wasn't open. Came Saturday. Monday, when I got to work, I don't know what told me to go down Valete, because normally I didn't go down Valete. I go down Lisbon to get to 12th and Valete. And but I came down and I saw cars parked up like on 17th and 18th Street on Valete,
Wow.
and on 17th Street. I'm going, where are all these cars out here? The King Center got open. Well, I found out once I pulled up, literally they were around the block.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
But then there's some, like this one lady came to Ebenezer in tears because she had to go to the pantry.
Mhm.
And she said, but I knew, and I just hugged her and said, this is family. You come get what you need.
Julia Means, Brenda Buchanan, thank you. Be healthy, be you. Debo, thank you.
Devo.
Clark, thank you.
Mr. Clark.
Oh, man, I'm here with you in person. The good Lord willing, Creek don't. Oh, and let me thank Mr. Daryl Davison again. The Milwaukee
Yes.
Fatherhood Summit Saturday,
Yes.
November 1st, there at Destiny Plaza, from 8 to 2. The good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow, and as always, go from this place in peace.